You want to be an architect,
Maybe a truck driver,
maybe a realtor.
something in the medical field.
Huh. Listen to Career Paths on Internet.
Thursdays.
You got Marcus up and happening?
You're good.
Are we ready to happen? All right. Here we go. Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Today's guest is
Marcus Cannon.
Marcus Cannon. Marcus, what do you do for a living? Or what do you do
I am-
for a career?
A career, well, I'm a mechanic by trade.
How long were you a mechanic?
Since I was a kid. My dad always
Oh, you're
was
one of
doing
them.
it. Yeah, he had his own business, so I got off the school bus when I was young and got to work.
That's how the cars get messed up, by the way.
Yes, I
He
noticed.
probably was doing that while I was gone,
He was.
while he was interviewing. Marcus, give us a little bit of background on yourself. Age, rank, serial number.
I'm 30 years old. I
Yes.
grew up in Spokane. Grew up with lots of land, so a lot of running around,
So
getting in trouble.
if you grew up in Spokane, you didn't have lots of land in Spokane.
Well, I was on 5 Mile. We had,
Oh, okay,
before
so
it was
let's
all
go-
developed and
Okay, yeah,
it's
yeah.
mostly
That's
farmland.
cool. Yeah, nowadays
Yeah.
it's all developed up there.
Yeah, it is.
You're married.
I am. Yep.
2 kids.
2 kids,
And
2
names?
boys.
2 boys. Names.
Oldest is Jet Rider and youngest is Duke Harvey.
Jet Rider.
Jet Rider
Harvey.
Cannon.
Huh. Can I ask how the names? I'm sure everybody asks. They got.
I just always liked the name Jet, and the wife gave me the go ahead to name the first one. So
It's all downhill from here.
he definitely accentuates the name.
I'm
perfect.
sure. I'm
Yes.
sure because it's at least it's not common.
Yeah. Well, I think I known one more Jet, and it was a girl
That-
actually.
Okay, once again, not common name.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Not common name.
That is. Do you not listen well?
No, I don't.
Damn
We'll
kids.
get to that later.
Okay, so did you go to? You got any? Well, I'm not even following my cards. So where and when did you decide to become a mechanic? You said you're already informed us that your dad.
Yeah. He
So,
well,
go
we
ahead.
kind of did a specialized thing. We our business was rebuilding large transmissions for oil drilling equipment. So
Wow, your
heavy
dad's
duty
business
stuff.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
okay.
before he started his own business, he was doing the same thing for someone else.
Right.
Um,
That's usually how it works these days. You learn, and then you move forward. And then you
Yep.
eventually decide, hey, I can do this and run this and do this myself. And
Oh yeah.
for whatever reason.
The guy he was working for was a pretty big crook, so it was a
Huh.
pretty easy decision to get out of there and
Okay.
do his own thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, he was a salesman for a while for them, and a lot of the business was up in Canada. So he did a lot of stuff up in Alberta, and
Did you travel with him?
oh, yeah.
Back in? Wow.
Yeah, he'd
that's-
wake me up at 4 in the morning when I was a kid and hop in the truck. Let's go.
Wow. That's probably a cool thing to look back at because you can't
Oh,
quite
yeah.
do that these days. You can't do that with your kids, can you?
No, I mean, not that I'm doing it anymore.
Right.
But I mean, I traveled for a long time. Ever since I turned 16, was able to drive. I started driving up to Canada for my dad.
Oh, okay. So
we-
you worked
we
for him
delivered-
originally. Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
We delivered our product up there, and I dealt with all the customers. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
a lot of time on the road.
Yeah. So you don't have to do that these days so much.
No. My dad actually, being it's an oil field, kind of took a hit about
Yeah,
3 years ago.
oh,
We
yeah.
struggled quite a bit.
Yeah.
And just this last year, my dad decided to shut the shop down. So
Okay. Wow.
that's where I'm at now at Deer Park Diesel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, your dad got you into this basically.
Yeah.
And so you just followed it. It's what you've enjoyed. It's a passion.
Yeah.
Mechanic is. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a handyman. I'm not good with any of that. And
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things I think you're kind of born with here, not like
right. But
artist
you also have a
ability.
passion with it.
I do. Yeah, I'm definitely passionate about it. I like tinkering on cars, hot rods, and stuff, and that's always kind of
Nice.
been my passion.
So did your dad any training outside of what you did with your dad? Did you
No.
school or
No.
trade school or anything like
No formal training at all. It was all just
Hands-on?
since I was a kid.
that?
Yeah.
Wow, it's a cool thing, especially if you enjoyed and you get to spend time with your dad to do it.
Yeah.
Was he good?
Spending time with your dad can be a good and bad thing.
Correct, and I understand that. So is it basically your father and what he did inspired you to do what you do now?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say so. Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from him.
And obviously you got to learn different things along the way.
Yeah.
And mistakes, good and bad.
Oh, plenty of mistakes.
Yeah, well, one thing that, and I say this a lot, either on the show or when I'm talking to other people, mistakes aren't bad.
Learning experiences.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you can learn from a mistake and apply that information to in some other situation in your life, you're the winner.
I mean, my dad was a perfectionist, so it was making a mistake was fairly difficult for me. So
So that was
Yeah.
the hard part of it.
that was a hard part.
Okay,
yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so, geez, so you don't have schooling. When do you think was the first time you started playing with a car? Tinker, like 5, 6, 7 years old? The
Yeah,
younger?
probably. I mean, I remember
the garage?
one story I'll tell you is saved up. I was probably 10 or so. Wanted to get a brand new mountain bike. It was like $400, and I mowed lawns forever. Paid myself this brand new mountain bike. It was about a week, and I wanted to put a motor on the thing. So what I do, chopped her right in half.
Uh-huh.
I remember my dad walking in and said, "What are you doing? Put a
Were
motor
those,
on this.
were
What do
those
you
the
mean?"
quite the words that he used?
That was probably actually his exact words. He didn't
Okay.
he wasn't really boisterous.
All right,
He was
cool.
kind of a silent man, but
Yeah.
he could have said that all with a look too.
Well, yeah, you
Easily.
being the kid, you learned.
Oh yeah,
You have brothers and sisters?
yeah. My both my parents were married before, and my dad had 2 kids from a past marriage, and my mom had 1, and then
Okay.
they had me and my youngest sister.
Okay.
So there's 5 kids altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, my next question is basically what obstacles stood in your way to become a mechanic and stuff? But
Yeah, I didn't really
Besides-
have any obstacles. I've always had support from everyone around me. You know,
Dad kicking
kinda-
you in the ass,
Oh yeah, lots
being
of
a
that.
perfectionist.
Yeah.
Was there a certain level that you felt pressure you had to live up to?
I mean, yeah, definitely when I was a kid, for sure. I
Right.
mean, now I can see, his flaws from back then, but
Sure,
when I was
sure.
a kid, he was, a god. He could fix anything.
Right. And so, if you screwed up, could you go to him, or was it?
Oh,
it
yeah.
just-
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes people
We didn't work very well together.
No, and that's fine. But if you're doing something and you relied, and he knew, but you knew that you could
Oh yeah,
go to
he
your
would drop
father.
whatever he was doing. And,
That's
and
awesome.
come help me.
Because a lot of people don't have that relationship with their father, good, bad, or indifferent, to do with, or don't have a father to have that.
Yeah, no.
And you
I'm
know that.
very unfortunate to
Do you
have
do that with your kids?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm definitely my boys are my boys. They're, I mean, I'm obviously I see my flaws in my father because my wife tells me. But definitely push them the way I wanna see them. They're both little gearheads too.
Right,
so.
and you're going to do things differently because of what you went through, obviously,
Oh,
and how
I
you
think
dealt with it.
that's a generational thing. I think everyone always tries to be better than their parents in some aspect.
Right. What would you say was the biggest thing, difference that you learned from your father to be different, quote unquote? If your dad listened to it, so be it.
Yeah,
To be
no, it's fine.
better.
More
To
of
be
a
better as a dad.
nurturing attitude.
Okay.
I would definitely say, because I mean, just obviously my father, he's 65, 66. That's a generation of not very nurturing and kind
No.
of tough love,
Yes.
And that I don't think that necessarily works with my boys. What I found, I mean, that they definitely need more of a nurturing attitude if you want
Right.
to see any type of progress out of them. I think. I mean, otherwise.
But
they'll
are your
shut
sons
down.
are different?
From each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah.
deal with them differently some ways than other ways?
Yeah. I mean, the youngest is 1. His personality is just starting to come out.
Okay.
So,
And-
but I am seeing that I mean, they'll definitely have to be dealt with differently.
Right, and you'll do that accordingly, obviously, but just, because not every two, even your own 2 kids, 2 sons, you're going to deal with them. One you could maybe yell at, and that's the right way to deal with him. The other one's like you yell at him, he cringes and becomes a hermit and just
Right. Yeah.
So, got all excited there. You didn't really have any obstacles in your way to doing what you're doing. It was just a step-by-step process within your life to do what you do.
I'd say the only obstacle, I mean, this would be a more recent obstacle, would be the shutting down my dad's shop. So
That was. Just
I mean, that was hard. He put
Sure.
some weight on my shoulders to try to save the business because the plan was always for me to take over, and he wanted to retire. Well, there wasn't really anything there for me to take over, so he put a little bit of that on my shoulders, and that was a tough time to kind of just say, I think I'm gonna
That was like 3
start
years ago.
over. That was just this last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of everything going on. we have questions here that don't even reference you. And this is actually, no, it's not a bad thing, but you lucked out into a situation that actually you enjoyed.
Yeah.
A lot of people, once again, my father tried to teach me certain things, and my brothers, and I wanted nothing. I mean, mechanics.
Oh yeah.
I remember changing a transmission on my '72 Nova. I don't remember why. I don't remember. I just remember not liking it, being a pain in the and going. And he was there to kind of go. But yeah, not. I know a guy when it comes to either mechanics for my car or other handiwork around the house.
Well, I mean, out of 5 kids, I was the only one who kind of followed my dad's path anyway. So,
right.
You know, everyone else kind of went all which ways.
So what do your siblings do?
Well, my oldest brother, which would be my dad, half brother, I guess.
That's fine.
He is on the Mead School Board. Michael Kennedy, probably around. Yeah, he's kind of a political type of guy. And
is he left or is he right?
He's right.
Really?
Yeah.
On a school board? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he does well for himself. He does
like
investment properties. He also came from not very much schooling and kind of put himself through schooling later on in life. And, and did very well.
Okay, so your next sibling?
My sister is married to a principal,
Nice.
and she's just kind of at-home mom. They live down in Oregon.
Lucky her, because that's not a bad thing.
Oh no, she loves it.
Did your mom stay at home?
No, she worked. Yeah,
Okay.
She worked for the family business for a while.
Does your wife work?
Yes, she does.
What does she
do?
do?
She is a hairstylist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was fortunate I had a stay-at-home mom. Ryan, your mom was stay-at-home mom for the most part?
For the most part.
Yeah.
She did
by the time you
house
came around,
cleaning and stuff
she didn't
during
care.
school hours,
By the
but she
time
was
she
always
figured-
home when we were home.
Right.
When I was older, my mom was home because the business was at the house for a
Oh,
while. So
well, there you go.
I mean, she was there.
So, right now, you're working for somebody else?
Yep.
Okay. And you're just, what do you do? Specify.
I'm a service writer, so I'm dealing with all the customers. I'm dealing with the techs, kind of figuring out who gets what job, and ordering parts and pretty much taking care of everything.
Is it easier? Do you think it's easier because of your background and everything you know because you've already
100%.
done?
Yeah.
And then, where's the customer service side come from?
My dad. I mean, just
Part
in
of the
that
business.
Yep. I mean, I did a lot of that too when I was traveling. I took care of all my dad's customers and made my own.
That was all
made my
part
own
of the sales
customers.
thing and just customer service. I feel I'm not a salesman per se. I'm a customer service guy.
Mm-hmm.
And in all my history, I figured that out about myself. It's like I don't know how to close a deal, but I know if I take care of my customer and get them whatever they want, or at least if they have a problem, figure out how to fix that problem. I may not be able to, but if I get back to them with a timely manner.
I totally agree. I take the same approach. I am really customer oriented. I think reputation is really important.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I mean that comes from good customer service, and obviously having quality work goes a long way as well.
How many guys you have working under your mechanics that you were responsible for?
Out at Deer Park.
Yeah.
We got 3 mechanics, and we just actually hired another. So between me and one other service writer, which is actually the owner anyway, we take care of. We kind of split them, so about 2 each. And we have about. I mean, we're swamped right now. We got 30 trucks in there.
Wow.
So,
do you ever find yourself turning a wrench?
No? Oh yeah, I go back there. I know a lot. You know, I'm mechanically inclined, and I know a lot about diesel trucks. It's kind of where my passion lies. So. I have, of course, specialties, certain year trucks and stuff that
doesn't everybody have?
I'm a wizard on, so
right.
I'll go out and help the techs. Or
how often do you find yourself? Do they come to you? Your techs at this point, if they have a
yeah.
Because are you the old guy?
No, well, I mean, I am one of the older ones there, definitely.
30-year-old guy.
Yeah, I know.
You're over the hill. I don't know how you made it here.
But...
So you find basically so. The next question is basically time in the office or time in the field. Time in the office to me for you would be sitting there at the desk taking in an order or getting the order out.
Yeah,
and then in
on
the
phone, updating customers,
and then in the field I would be out in the back actually turning the wrench and doing something. Which do you enjoy more?
Oh man, I like it being split.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
My original intentions were to be a mechanic over there, and that's kind of why I got hired. But at the time, they needed a service writer. So, I haven't had that officially as a job title before, but I figured, hey, I can probably figure it out. And
so far, I did. How long have you been doing it?
I've been there for just over 6 months.
And you're figuring it out?
Oh, yeah, I got it figured out pretty quick.
So
that's
tomorrow,
why it kept me
if you get fired, can you let us know so we can at least know that you suck. So you split. See, and I understand the variety.
Yeah.
I cannot sit like in one spot. First of all, just because of what I've done in my life. So I understand you enjoy both. Obviously, sometimes one's a little more pain in the butt. So to change to the other one is a pleasant release or pleasant difference.
I mean, I don't try to run away from.
I didn't say run
You know,
away, but to
swap
have the
switch.
to have the variety to go from one to another.
Yeah,
to,
it
to
is
change
nice.
it up.
Spoiled in that way.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception that you think that other people have about what you do for a living in your career?
Definitely that mechanics definitely do have that untrustingness, you know, to customers, that they're always trying to get one over on them.
Oh, okay.
Spend money on parts they don't
I didn't
need.
know what you're talking because I usually trust my mechanics because I know
Most people do.
I know the service writer would be the guy I would be questioning. Now that you bring that up, just like, but the guys I've dealt with, I know them, or I've got to know them, or they've been a friend of somebody, and I know a guy is not just I know lots of people, but if I don't trust somebody or if there's something dealt with people so long that you can just sniff them out. At least I can.
Oh yeah, and that's part of my job is just let people know that they can trust us.
Right, you're
take
there
care
to
of
do
them.
it. Yeah, I mean, come on, you're paying us to do a job.
Mhm.
So, you do financially? Doing okay?
Yeah, I do good.
I don't need specifics. You got benefits for the family and everything between you or your wife, or is
No,
that
actually,
work-
we're on our own for her benefits.
Okay.
But
It most people used to be that way.
Yeah.
They take care of themselves, and now everybody's
Well,
responsible.
I understand. I mean, just coming from my dad's place, it's
Oh, yeah.
expensive to have insurance for a small company that only has 5 to 10 employees.
Right.
It's like
Right.
stupid expensive.
Do you don't have? You seem like you're pretty healthy. Don't
Yeah.
have- so, if in case you get hurt at work, you're covered at least, right?
Yeah, there's Illinois.
Yeah,
Everyone pays for that.
Limp yourself in and fake it at work. And
Yeah.
Yes. How'd you know that's what I? Oh, never mind. What's the most enjoyable thing about your life to do because of your career?
Because of my career,
Yeah.
well, I'm kind of a hot rodder, so I mean that's knowing that kind of stuff and being around it all the time.
So, what do you do for fun? Obviously, hot rods. You go to is racing, is NASCAR, is all that stuff a passion of yours?
Yeah, I mean not NASCAR or big
Okay, so I'm
organized
clarifying
racing, but
because
yeah.
I don't like NASCAR. I'm not a car guy.
See, I'm a diesel guy, so
Okay, what's it-
drag
okay.
racing, sled pull, dyno events.
Sled pull. What the heck's that?
You hook you're on like a dirt track and you hook a big
tractor?
sled on that has kind of a moving weight and it adds weight to the truck the further
Okay,
down the
a
track. you
diesel
get.
truck,
Yeah, diesel truck.
not a regular car truck, not
Mm.
gas.
Yeah,
What's
you
up? So
we're talking
I'm
1200 horse
I'm
trucks.
ignorant, or you can call me just stupid. What's the big deal between diesel and gas? Why should I care?
You shouldn't care, really.
Okay, there you go. Why?
Diesels are work trucks. I mean, a lot of guys use them to make money, right? And that kind of justifies the added cost.
That's
to 'em.
okay. That's what I'm clarifying because I don't know.
And that's why I'm into. I mean, I use my truck for the business forever, and
Right.
I mean, you just have to have a diesel because it can haul 6,000 pounds in the bed, and then start in 40 below when you're
Okay,
not
so-
really surrounded. and
Okay, so there. Okay, there's logical reasons why
There's
you have.
logical
Okay,
reasons,
see,
yeah.
I don't
Not
know
just
these things.
rolling black
as-
smoke at people on the side.
That I see. I was like, Mother God, what?
It's
the-
okay. Mine comes out my hood. It doesn't really cover the sidewalk very
So,
well.
but it hits your. Does it hit your? Hit
Yeah,
your
you can't roll
windshield?
down the passenger window anymore. But
Oh.
that's no big deal.
Nice. Does your what you make now income wise compare to what you thought you'd make? Once again, I don't need specifics, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of
'Cause
hard
you-
to say. I mean, I'm doing fine, and my dad did very well in his business, so I've always grown up around, parents who had, money and did well.
right.
And my wife does extremely well too, so I don't really have to worry too much about it anyway. So,
Good for your. What was your wife's name again?
Samantha Cannon.
Samantha. Yeah, of course, put the last name in there if she's married.
Yeah,
You didn't have to put the last name. Wow. A little insecure, is he? Have you noticed that? Let's see. How many jobs do you think you've had before? Well, this doesn't cover. I have a list of like 10, 15 questions that a lot of them don't apply to you, which is great because you actually came in a situation. It just stepped into it
Yeah.
from step to step, which is cool. That doesn't happen all the time. So, do you think?
Well, we could talk about. I mean, I there was definitely times when me
What
and my
else
dad
did
were
you
fighting
do?
And I worked at Zips, in
Did
high
you?
school and flipped burgers and
Which Zips did you work at?
the one on Hawthorne by Whitworth there.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why I don't go there anymore?
That could be actually that's one of the
Yeah.
best ones.
So, okay, what other jobs? What other jobs are? And I will say they're jobs because there is a difference. As in Ryan, the my partner for the podcast, our partner, we've discussed. We have jobs, and we as I bumped the mic, we have jobs, but and I have several jobs right now. Are they careers? No, not really. But you're a mechanic and doing what you're doing now is a career. What other jobs have you had along the way to survive?
Well, I think I've only actually had 2 other jobs. Zips would be one, and then
How long were you there at Zips back in the day?
it was in and after high school, so maybe 2 years.
Okay.
And then I worked at a hydraulic cylinder place building hydraulic cylinders for a little bit too.
Wow. That was
I can't
lovely.
remember how I got that job, but
Yeah.
I think I just went in and asked for a job. They hired me.
Maybe you knew somebody?
I think my brother did know someone there.
It's sometimes you'd be amazed if you've listened to any of the podcasts. It's usually a guy.
Yeah.
Somebody knows
You know a
somebody. Yeah, that's my saying, and I use it for everything. I know a guy, and fortunately, not everybody hates me so far.
So would you say you've had difficulties because of not having any schooling and stuff,
Oh, good question.
getting a job outside of the company?
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I used to think that a little bit, but every time, actually, I did have another job, just not before I worked at Deer Park Diesel. I have a good reputation kind of in the industry that I don't need any type of formal training to get me where I need to go.
Did you know the people at the place where you work now?
No, actually, I did not.
How did that come about then?
Right before then, for just actually 2 months, I worked at a big retail diesel outlet. And when guys were buying parts from there, they were asking pretty much, where do we get these installed in town? And we always threw them out to Deer Park Diesel because they had such a good reputation. I mean, they're one of the, highest rated kind of shop, most expensive, but does, absolutely the best work in town, I think. And that's pretty much why I went out there, because I knew of their reputation. I wanted to work
Wow.
at a good shop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. What advice would you give to anybody younger that's, whatever age they are, that looking to become a mechanic, diesel mechanic, or a rider, and when they figure out what a rider actually is and what that service work, I'd say more, what advice would you give somebody that looks at what you do or sees the mechanic, they go into a shop and they're fascinated by that, which I'm not, but there are kids that look and they're going to be like, you got to know that, right? Somebody's going to see. What advice would you
What
give?
am I going to tell my sons?
Yeah,
to
if
do?
they're interested in doing what dad does and they want to follow in your footsteps and maybe either start their own business or get in with somebody else, what advice would you give them?
Go to school.
What kind of
Because these days you need certifications to, have any type of
and you
reputation.
you don't have any certification technically.
I don't. Actually, I did go to one little school to get an Allison transmission certification just to pretty much tune on a computer because he needed it.
Okay.
But so I guess that would count. But other than that, no. I've just always been fortunate enough to, be in a family business and always know the right people and.
Right. So you know a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and that
But for my
serves-
sons, for my kids, if they want to go, that
At this
route,
point.
obviously, they might not know a guy, and
even though they know
handle
dad
it.
and dad knows lots of guys, but still that doesn't always nowadays that doesn't always help. I mean, it will help obviously. Hey, if my son's looking for a job, can you maybe look at it, or what does he need, and then you could help out. But the school part, you're talking about not just high school, but some kind of trade.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they have specialized trade
Sure.
schools, to get ASE certified or
Okay. Yeah.
any type of mechanic position.
And are you hopefully to be in the position to have financial as well as other sport when they get there? You want to do that for your kids?
Oh yeah.
My parents said, if you want to go to college, you figure it out. I've heard after the fact, it was after, we would have helped you.
I mean, they'll pay one way or another, but
Not always, no. I love my parents dearly, and they afforded me everything else I have in my world, so I'm okay with that. But it's a little different than what other career or job or fantasy when you were growing up? Was there any cowboy, astronaut, anything else you ever would have dreamt you ever wanted to be?
You know, actually, I've always kind of wanted to be, not necessarily in the entertainment business, but like behind the camera. I always thought like the production of movies was kind of cool and interesting.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Fortunately, once again, doing as much entertainer that I am, I figured that out, and Ryan's afforded me this one.
Yeah.
Any other questions that you can think of that? Because Ryan's the mechanic here. He's the handyman.
He's
He's
a
a
neighbor.
I know a guy. I know a guy. Thank God. So, anything else you'd like to add to information that anybody else? Because let's say hypothetically, your kids are going to hear this one day. You know that, right? Somehow,
Possibly,
some
yeah.
way, maybe 10 years from now, because it's online. It's
Yeah.
online for the rest of
It's
for
never
eternity.
leaving.
So it'll be out when it comes out, and then it'll be there for. They're going to go, Dad. Anything else? Any other advice for them or anybody else that you would like to share with the people? Because once again, you've lucked out.
Yeah, like I
You
say, I'm
you
fortunate.
yes, and you are aware of this.
Oh,
and I'm not
very-
knocking you
my
for
wife
it.
tells me all the time.
Yeah. Does your wife remind you how lucky you are?
Oh yeah, yep.
Not just to have her.
To work hard, I don't know. You know, you just gotta, if you want, set a goal and try to meet it. Don't give up so easily.
What goal do you have right now? Do you have a goal set for work? Not at
For
home.
work?
Yeah. What's your long term?
Yeah, I mean, I want to run the shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's nice to know. But you have plans to get there. You're not
yeah.
going to kick somebody down to get.
Oh no. I always got
A lot of
plans.
people do that though. You've seen that. Come on, in the 10, 20 years you've been doing, you've seen how people are.
Oh yeah.
They got to
Yeah.
kick somebody down to make themselves be better.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. I have a pretty close relationship with my boss over there, and we get along awesome. And
Well, obviously,
wants
and if
nothing but the
you're
best.
helping bring in business and keeping business going, that makes him better.
Yeah.
Makes it. And I have no problem with that. Well, nothing else, huh?
No.
Okay. Well, I'd like to once again, Marcus Cannon.
Yep.
And once again, your official title is right now,
service writer,
but you are technically a
mechanic.
diesel
French
mechanic.
turner.
Diesel mechanic. You prefer diesel over like regular engines, or you do both? Just
Yeah,
because?
I prefer diesel. I mean,
Okay. So if I
it's
need
old
something
stuff.
worked on, I can call you now.
Yeah, of course.
You'll charge me through the.
Literally.
Has he done anything for you?
Not yet.
Okay.
He's talking about doing my exhaust manifold that's leaking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you get around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care of him.
I'm ready.
Awesome, Marcus. Thank you. That was
Yeah, thank
easy. I appreciate you coming in, talking to Sharon with us.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people can get a tidbit of information. Would you recommend a school anywhere locally? Anything that you just off the top of my head? Because since you didn't,
I can't because the SEC shop. We've hired guys out of there. I don't see very much good stuff come out of there. So I don't know.
that's fine. That's what. But that's that.
What
that
about
may-
like Wyotech?
Yeah, they have a lot of specialized stuff down there. I mean,
where
especially
are
diesel
some of the
stuff.
crews that you have working for you right now? Do they miscellaneous?
Right now, I mean, they're so young. We pretty much trained them. A lot of them came. They'll get their ASC certified from SCC or something. But
Okay.
I think some of them worked at Subaru, and one other tech just kind of came up doing his own
Oh.
thing.
Okay. Well, there you go. Awesome. Well, there you go. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know another guy now. Thank God, maybe. So, thank you for listening to Career Paths. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. It's your life. Make it happen.